Hi, everyone. My name is Bobby Nicholson, and I'm the founder of actprep.com. This is our video series on how to go to college tuition free. In today's lesson, we're going to explain our Pays to Prep scholarship guide. But before we jump into the guide, I want to talk about some common misconceptions about scholarships. When most people think about scholarships, they think about filling out applications, writing essays, doing interviews, and hoping it all leads to some scholarships. However, a large percentage of the money that is awarded comes from guaranteed institutional scholarships. And for guaranteed scholarships, there are no essays, there are no applications, and there are no interviews. If you meet the requirements and get everything for your admission turned in on time, you will automatically get the scholarship in the vast majority of scenarios. And to make it as easy for you as possible to find these scholarships, we have already found hundreds for you on our Pays to Prep scholarship guides. If you live in Tennessee, we have a guide specific to Tennessee. If you are outside of Tennessee and are considering going out of state, we have put together a guaranteed scholarship guide for out-of-state scholarships as well. I first want to give a disclaimer that our aim with this chart is to simplify the comparison of opportunities across various schools. However, at times, aligning this information with the chart's format can be challenging, like using a pancake as a frisbee. It might work, but it's never going to be the same. Therefore, consider this chart as simply a starting point to help you find opportunities you did not know exist. From there, please go to the school website to find the exact information for that scholarship. So if you have not already, please go ahead and head over to our website at actprep.com and click on the College Resources tab at the top, and then click on It Pays to Prep Tennessee. All right, from here, all you've got to do is scroll down to the left-hand column to find your ACT and GPA, and you are essentially eligible for every scholarship above that mark. You can see the scholarship, how much the scholarship is with Hope and GAMS, which we'll talk about very soon, what the sticker price for that school is, and how much is remaining to pay per year with that scholarship. As you can see, the higher your scholarship, the bigger the scholarship amounts are going to be. On average, every point added on the ACT is about $2,500 in scholarships added over 4 years, and these start much lower than most families are aware. As you can see, Tennessee Wesleyan, for a 16 on the ACT with a 2.85 unweighted GPA, gives $10,000 per year, $40,000 over 4 years. So you do not have to have crazy high ACT scores to be eligible for a lot of scholarship money. And that's the gist. Now I'm going to go a little more into the details. So we're going to go through each column individually and talk about some nuances of those columns. On the ACT column, if you see a scholarship that doesn't have an ACT score listed, that means they do not require an ACT score for that scholarship. So if you scroll to the bottom, you will see lots of those listed there. On our GPA column, if it has a U next to it, that means the GPA they're using is unweighted GPA. And if it has a W, that means it is the weighted GPA that they're using. If it has an asterisk, it means that the way they compute the GPA is a little different than normal and that further investigation is recommended. On the next column, we mention Hope and GAMS, and we've already added in the Hope and GAMS amounts if the requirements for that scholarship would already make the student eligible for Hope or GAMS or both. All right. And to tell you a little about the Hope Scholarship, If a student lives in Tennessee and has a 3.0 GPA or hits at least a 21 on their ACT, they get the Hope Scholarship to any Tennessee school that they go to. Students get different amounts for different years, but it averages out to $5,100 per year, and that is the number we use for Hope on this chart. The GAMS, also known as the General Assembly Merit Scholarship, is essentially the second level of the Hope Scholarship. If a student has a 3.75 weighted GPA and a 29 composite ACT, they get an additional $500 per semester on top of the Hope money to any Tennessee school. We average this as $1,000 per year. For the sticker price column, this is adding together the amount of tuition, room and board, and the average cost of books. We got this number from Appley, so the number might be a little bit different than what you will find on the official school's website, but it will get you in the ballpark, and that's what we're trying to do, is to make this easy. And then this next column tells you how much is remaining per year to pay with that scholarship. So it just takes the sticker price minus the award per year with Hope and GAMS. So any other scholarships or grants you got would obviously help make that number smaller. But this is just giving you an idea so you can compare apples to apples of how much you're going to pay at the different schools. So even though some of the scholarships are huge, it still might financially make more sense to go to one of the other schools just because of how much you end up paying. We tell you what school that applies to, the scholarship name, if it is a guaranteed scholarship or not, which we talked about earlier, and if the school or this scholarship uses super scores. If you're unfamiliar with super scores, the ACT automatically super scores all of the ACTs that a student has taken to create a super score. And they just use their best score from each of the different sections to make a new composite score called the super score. Some scholarships use the super score and some do not, and we tell you that on this super score column. And the last two columns are about the last ACTs and GPAs accepted for scholarships. Many families are not aware that even after a student is admitted, that they can continue taking the ACT to bump up their scholarship amount. These columns tell you the last ACTs and GPAs the schools will accept to bump up the student scholarship amount. However, please note that not all schools will automatically bump up your scholarship amount. Therefore, if you end up increasing your ACT or GPA score after applying, it is always wise to reach out to the school to let them know and confirm you will get the higher scholarship amount. So that's all we got for today. We hope you found this useful. And if you did, we would certainly appreciate your help in spreading the word. They can find us or join our newsletter at actprep.com.